What does an off-grid homesteader know about beating inflation? More than the financial pundits, I'll tell you that. Beating inflation involves more than just buying gold or getting the right stocks. It requires a radical shift in lifestyle design. My family is originally from Argentina, and we know all about inflation. Inflation has barely made a difference in my life because I set myself up years ago. You want to learn how to beat inflation? Well, I'll share with you how this off-grid homesteader is able to do just that and ways that you can do it as well. And the first couple tips you can do from anywhere, even if you live in the city or if you rent. Now, the first thing you got to do is get rid of your debts. Your debts are crushing you. Everything that you own is going down in price, and everything that you need is going up in price. Pretty soon, people will not be able to afford the debts on their luxuries because the things that they need will just be costing too much. And people who don't take this chance to get prepared now, they could possibly get screwed in the future. You got a car with car payments? Sell it, man, and get a car that you can buy in cash. Your $80,000 automobile is not a necessity. I drive around in a perfectly good car that I got for $5,000. And there's no need for full coverage insurance either. Now, at the same time that you're starting to get your debts under control, you can start to cut your ties with the utilities. The first and easiest way to do it is to start by reducing your use. You can just go outside more, go to the park, go for a walk, play outside, and spend less time in the house and consume less energy. And if you can't leave the house, play some board games or read some books and cut that Netflix bill out of your life. If you can find activities that you can do from home, you don't have to go anywhere to do them, which means you don't have to drive and you're using less gas and means more money in your wallet. Another thing you can do is explore the use of solar technology by utilizing solar cookers. Solar ovens are amazingly efficient, using the heat from the sun to cook your food. And I've included a link in the description below to 2 of my favorite solar cookers. Of course, you can install alternative energy. Now, I chose to get solar at my place, and sure, I could have tied into the grid, but when I moved onto this land here, that would have cost an extra $3,000 to $4,000 just to have the line go from the road to my house. Now, that didn't make sense because all I needed was about $7,000 to get myself started with my own solar system, where I'm producing the power instead of the energy company producing the power for me. And now that I've set myself up in that way, I am not beholden to the constant price hikes that the energy company is putting on everybody. I've heard that Helco has been spiking the prices every month for the past few months. That's absurd. And here I am getting energy produced for free from the sun. I do kind of have a little bit of a power bill because, things get old and things have to be replaced. So I've set up a drip account in my bank where $70 gets taken out every month, and that money gets accrued for me to use to replace batteries or solar panels. In that way, I'm not suddenly shocked with a big expense when the time comes. So technically I have a power bill, but I never have to worry about the rates getting raised. Now, if you rent, you can still take advantage of solar energy. There's a lot of great technology out there that you can buy just on Amazon. There's portable solar generators, there's portable solar panels, all these things you can use at your place that you're renting and be able to take with you if you have to move. I've included a link to a couple of my favorite items down below in the description. If you're interested, be sure to check those out. Now, while most people rely on reservoirs or aquifers for their water, I get my water from the rain. Right here, I store it in this rain tank, and I have free water whenever I need to use it. America's water infrastructure is collapsing. You can see it in places like Red Hill on Oahu, or right now down in Mississippi or Flint, Michigan. You cannot trust the centralized water systems. And with the bills that they send you every month, what are you paying for anyways? Why not be in charge of your own water by harvesting the rain that falls for free from the sky? I know right now one of the places people are seeing inflation hit the most is at the grocery store. And a great way to protect yourself from inflation and save yourself some money is to build up your pantry. Now, if you have a garden, you should be preserving your surplus. If your garden doesn't have a surplus or you don't have a garden at all, it's time to get strategic with what you do at the grocery store. There's a way that you could build up your pantry at the grocery store without breaking the bank. Next time you go to the store with whatever you buy, instead of buying one, just buy 2. If you normally get 1 tomato sauce, get 2 tomato sauces and have that stockpiled for future use. And then next time you go to the store, get 2 again and then 2 again, and keep adding to the number till you have 3 months supply of food stockpiled away. I've already saved money by building up my stockpile. The other day I was at the store and I saw olive oil selling for $20 that just 6 months ago I bought for $8. Now back then, that's when I was stockpiling and I got like 10 olive oils. And I didn't have to buy olive oil when the price was $20 per bottle. Now the price went back down to $12 and I'm able to pick it up again. Now when I see crazy food prices, I just wait. Another place we've been feeling the cost of inflation has been at the gas pump. And there's a strategy I've been using for a while that makes it easy to get $1 off per gallon at the gas pump. Now in my life, I spend money at Home Depot pretty regularly. So I go to Safeway and I get a gift card for Home Depot, but by buying the gift card at Safeway, I get gas points there. So getting $1 off a gallon of gas at Safeway is super easy by buying gift cards that way. You got any other strategies? If you do, please comment below because I'd love to hear them. But you know what the best deal in town is? You know, we're off-grid homesteaders, right? The best deal in town is that $3 seed packet that you buy at the store. A $3 seed packet can return like 1,000% on your original investment. Having a garden is one of the best ways to ensure a surplus. And plus, it'll lessen your need to go to the store. And I know that every time I go to the store, I end up buying more than I really should. Now, speaking of money, if you do have some, how do you protect it from inflation? Now, I'm no financial advisor, but I do know a few things of what to do from stories I've heard from my family in Argentina. Now, the Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates in order to fight inflation, and they're gonna do this until the market cracks. We've been getting to see signs of it cracking, but it hasn't even started yet. When it starts, we'll know it. But when it does, it could be a good time to get good quality dividend stocks and maybe even a good price on a home, as long as you have enough cash to buy it, because interest rates for mortgages are gonna be sky high. But then the Fed's gonna pivot and it's gonna drop rates again. And that is when we're gonna see inflation soaring even higher. And by then, it's gonna be too late. So I hope you prepare now. Even though inflation is eating away at the value of your money, the dollar's at an all-time high. I'd keep some money in cash, try and pull as much out of the markets if you have it in the markets. You can get some Series I bonds that track inflation. Right now, they're paying about 9% and they're relatively risk-free. You hold them for a year and then you could take out your money and do whatever you want with it. You could also put your cash into some short-term T-bills where you can get a little bit of an interest rate every month, but not tie your cash up. That way you could have the money for when everything goes on sale. Now, be wary of the stock market though. In a bear market, most things go down. Even things like gold that are supposedly a hedge against the falling market. But not everything goes down. It seems like this year, the real winner has been energy stocks. Those things have been going through the roof. And in times of inflation, commodities and energy are the things that normally go up in price. As homesteaders, besides cash, we might also want to put our money into supplies. You might have noticed during COVID, things like ammunition, compost, seeds, all those things became really hard to find. Their prices either rose dramatically or they weren't on the shelves at all. Get a jump on all that right now. Go to the store and start to invest your money into supplies that can help your homestead. Like I mentioned, a seed packet could have 1,000% return. Why wouldn't you invest your money into something like that as well as something like the stock market? And besides, real tangible things go a lot further during times of inflation than any sort of paper asset that you might buy. In fact, one of the best tangible things that you could be building during this time of inflation is community. You want to save money on your food budget? Get invited to potlucks. How do you get invited to potlucks? Have something to share. Give away plants that you grow to your neighbors. Share excess produce that you grow, or help your neighbor out on a project. And before long, your neighbors are going to be extending that same abundance to you. In Hawaii, community goes a long way. The mentality here is, what can I offer, not what can I take? Sure, money might get you that beachfront house and the ability to buy whatever you want at the store. But when that money doesn't stretch as far, or there's empty food on the shelves, you're gonna need a community to keep you going. Now I know that inflation just might be kicking your butt. Well, sometimes you just need to look in the mirror and make the hard choices. And that choice might just be thinking about moving. Having a low-paying job in an expensive city just doesn't make sense. There's so many less expensive places out there where you can thrive instead of struggle. Before inflation was this national thing, it was rearing its ugly head in California in the rental market for years. The prices of rentals went sky high in the town that I grew up in, and without even realizing it, I was priced out of my own city. But luckily, I already had a plan B in mind. Disillusioned with the rat race, I found some cheap land. I started real slowly, and I eventually built up a little off-grid homestead without having to go into debt. And now I have this home and a thriving garden without having to pay anybody for it. I'm free to live here without anyone telling me to leave or without having to pay a huge expense every month. And that means I get to choose what I do with my day. I could have never done that if I stayed in California. It was scary, but you know what's even scarier? Having a struggle for the rest of your life, living day to day, paycheck to paycheck, worried about where the next little bit of money is gonna come from. I've been there. The stress was not worth it. Moving into a place where the cost of living was more within my means was such a better choice. And that's one that you can make right now. There are so many ways you can move without much money. You can join other off-grid homesteaders who are constantly looking for others to help them on their projects. I see it all the time on these Facebook groups I'm in. Just the other day, I saw 10 people throughout the country looking for others to join them on their property in exchange for helping to make it all happen. If you don't have the money, that could be a really great option for you. In fact, you should watch this video right here. It'll give you a few more tips on how you can go off-grid with no money.